Some time ago, I made a video as to why there isn't a spin-off series featuring Tony and Ziva from the original NCIS. Of course, those were probably the two most popular characters from that show, along with Mark Harmon's character. And after they exited the original series, I was like, okay, Ziva did her exit for some, I don't know, I would want to say at this moment inconclusive reason, and that's been from what, 2013, so it's been like 11 years since she made her exit. I think it was premature. From the top of my head, I think it was probably ill-informed in case she was, encouraged to do so. And then Tony, based on some stuff that I read online, said that, he was actually getting a little bit bored, and then thinking that he should just make his exit, which he ultimately did and went on to start a series. But hey, henceforth here we have now a series being made, NCIS, Tony and Ziva. That is probably the most highly anticipated series to come on television at some point in 2025. I think that's when we'll get our pilot episode, and I think that's where it will continue from. But hey, you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for those two characters. I'm certainly hoping that they'll bring the drama. I'm certainly hoping that they'll bring the intense action. I'm certainly hoping there'll be a lot of love and a lot of romance and a lot of catching up to do between those two. I'm hoping that, they'll play it out good, where they show that they've actually forgiven one another. Or it's morely Tony who has to forgive Ziva for her exit. And then, of course, they have a child together and they have to raise that child. You see, this is what happens when you play around with two characters for too long on a particular series without actually allowing it to culminate to what you've been building up with over the years. Imagine, Tony and Ziva's character have actually been playing around on the romantic edge since about 2004 or 2005, and they've continued, friends, enemies, near lovers, then friends, jealous, concern, stuff like that. And then ultimately, when Ziva left the series, the television audience, of course, rightfully so, were not satisfied. They were looking forward to these two getting together. And somewhere along the line, the screenwriters or the script writers came up with something I think was kind of brilliant. But then at the end of the day, it was still, they were to be blamed for not allowing it to culminate, quicker. But nevertheless, it happened where it was shown that they actually had a relationship, and from that relationship, they got Talia. Now, I'm thinking Talia has probably grown, a few years older. Probably she's going to be 5, 6, or depending on what the screenwriters want, where they'll put her age in the upcoming NCIS Tony and Ziva. But of course, I suspect that she'll be learning her investigative and police skills from her father, and she'll be learning her covert operative skills from her mother. And then of course every other thing, the quips, the jokes, the fun, everything else as far as educational wise, to make her become the proper child of two of the most brilliant agents. I'm thinking that it will happen and she'll be full circle, well educated as far as that is concerned. But I'm thinking that she's going to be very edgy. She's probably going to be a little bit rude. She's going to be giving a lot of jokes, wondering what her mom and her dad are up to, why this one behaves this particular way, why that one behaves that particular way. I think there's a lot of things to be told in NCIS Tony and Ziva. And of course, they're going to be having people chasing them all over. I mean, let's not forget, Ziva isn't short of enemies. And she has a son with Tony, and so Tony has all right to be protecting Talia, his daughter, and it's going to be a role that both of them would have to play in her lives. And of course, they'll have to train her as she grows up in order to help to defend herself and to be very astute, to know right from wrong, to know enemy from friend, just to be very careful, because I don't think they'll be able to be everywhere she is all the time. None of us can't be around our kids everywhere all the time, so we don't want to train them the way our child should grow, and then teach them how to be very alert. All right, and I think they have their jobs cut out for them, along with running from enemies. Of course, I think the story is going to begin with Tony having his own security company, and for some reason or the other it got breached, and then they have to find out who breached it, or something to that effect. And of course, they're going to be on the run all over Europe. That's how I've read it online. That's how it's going to be turning out. But hey, it is something that I'm definitely looking forward to. Both characters, Michael Weatherly, Cody Pablo, have actually gotten older. So, I'm certainly hoping that, they'll actually immerse themselves into the show to a point where the audience is just glued to the television. You know, it has to, the pilot episode has to be really good. The episodes after have to really fall through really good, and you know, just keep us glued to the television. Of course, we don't want to outperform every other NCIS show, NCIS the original show, NCIS Origins, you know. But then, of course, I'm thinking based on the fact that these characters were central to the NCIS show. I'm thinking that a lot of people be glued in. You know, I'm thinking that the ratings, the viewership may be through the roofs. But hey, again, it's a matter of wait and see because, you know, I mean, well, NCIS has still remained in the top two of most watched television shows, you know, in America. So I'm thinking that when NCIS Tony and Ziva comes around, especially with baby Talia, and who knows, probably more babies on the way. I'm thinking it will be very interesting. So it's going to be a good story. I think it's going to be a good story to tell. I'm thinking that, you know, there's going to be a lot of action. If you notice, ever since Ziva actually left NCIS in 2013, the type of action that we're used to wasn't necessarily taking place. The type of anxiousness or, you know, the type of excitement that we got from NCIS during the time that she was there and before, it's not necessarily there. It wasn't necessarily there even up until 2024. So, I mean, you know, one of the things that we must remember is that the original NCIS, one of the things that made it so popular is the whole terrorists and terrorism plot. You know, how terrorists are constantly entering the United States, going after various targets, you know, even Ziva or whomever. And then at the end of the day, when her father came into the country, then they found out that a lot of terrorists were coming behind him because they found out that he was outside of Israel. You know, there's a lot of story. And then I know with all the recent uproar pertaining to Israel and their fight against Hamas, you know, etc., a lot of people will be looking at that to say, hey, you know, we don't really, well, I don't know, probably a lot will be saying that they don't want to hear much about Israel, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. I mean, that's a fight that's going on. This is a television show. I'm thinking it should do well, even though Ziva's character was originally an Israeli and will always be an Israeli. So, sorry, I'm expecting it to be very good. I'm expecting, you know, a lot to come from it. I'm expecting the scriptwriters to really tell a good story, so much so that it draws all the audiences from all walks of life. The same audience that they had from before with the original NCIS, I'm looking forward to the same audience now and even more. Because this is a movie for both the young, for the middle age, and for the old. And, you know, it's a good television show. Of course, if you observe, NCIS has remained in the top two. It has been the #1 viewing show for a while. I think I recently read that it fell to #2. And series name Tracker went to #1, and who knows, I suspect that NCIS will rise up back to #1 again, but hey, let's wait and see. So I'm looking forward to great storytelling. I'm looking forward to brilliant acting. I'm not sure if they'll be using same baby Talia as in what was, you know, shown in, was it NCIS season 17, or they'll be using, you know, a grown-up of sorts, Talia, to continue the role. But let us wait and see. You know, like I said, it's high anticipation. I'm looking forward to good storytelling. I'm hoping that the show is well made. I hope it will have a lot of, you know, series. I'm hoping for each episode to be very good, you know, just to keep you laughing, just like those two did with original NCIS. I mean, was there a time when they had an interaction when we were not laughing? Was there a time when they had an interaction where we're like, all right, go ahead, Tony, kiss her, Tony, or Ziva, you know you want to kiss him. Oh, Ziva, you know you're jealous, Tony, you know you're jealous. I mean, these are all the things that we were saying. So to see that everything culminated, you know, to them having a child, I mean, I'm like, well, this is exciting. And I'm really thinking that if the scriptwriters are really, really immersed into the whole thing, they'll tell a very good story for the entire series of NCIS Tony and Ziva, so much so to keep us, the TV audience, glued and excited and looking forward to each episode every time. And I'm certainly hoping that after season 1, you know, probably before season 1 is done, they'll give the green light for season 2 and season 3, as long as the stars, the actors and actresses are okay with it, you know, just keep making it. And I'm certainly hoping that after all this time that Cote Pablo have been away from television, I'm certainly hoping that this would be her kind of restarting her career of starts, and I'm certainly hoping that it will also be very profitable for her and that it will augur well for her welfare. I'm certainly hoping that after Michael Weller exited Bull, you know, I'm certainly hoping this is a show, a series that will really get him on the go again. I'm certainly hoping that with the mix of Talia in there, that this will be proper storytelling. I'm not sure if they'll be connected with the NCIS hierarchy, like, the director, Leon Vance's character. I'm not sure if he'll have any reign over them because, of course, Tony resigned, Ziva resigned. So I'm suspecting that somewhere along the line, they'll just offer help to each other. Probably Tony and Ziva will offer help to NCIS, the original, with Leon Vance. I suspect that Leon Vance, somewhere along the line, knowing that they're former agents of his, will offer help to them when they desperately need it, which I think they will because they're on the run. All right, and who knows how far in order to get information about them, in order to get information about their whereabouts, where they'll be. Who knows who they try to contact from NCIS, the original, Leon Vance and his team. Who knows who the villains will try and infiltrate to get information about, the places that Tony likes to visit, the places that Ziva likes to go, or things they like to do, or where they most likely will be. Who made contact with who, when, how, stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to this show. I'm definitely looking forward to this show, and they're really hoping that it will be well. I think, the television audience worldwide is looking forward to NCIS, Tony and Ziva. And I'm thinking it will be very good. So, hey guys, tune in. Tell me what you think. I mean, this is 2025 is fast approaching, God's willing. So let's see how things will go as far as these shows are concerned. So guys, tell me what you think. Remember to like, subscribe, tell your family and friends about this channel. Many Moods of Maverick, have them subscribe too. And God bless until the next one. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.